So I'm an attorney in New York and Jamaica. And one of the questions that I get very often is, how were you able to do it? And was it difficult? So that's two questions that I get often. And I'm going to try my best to answer it very quickly. So, was it difficult to do? I wouldn't say it was difficult to do. If you been through law school in the States or in the UK or wherever, it's the same method. However, in Jamaica, so I'm just going to talk to you about how I did it, and it's different now. In Jamaica, in order for you to become an attorney, if you are practicing in another jurisdiction, such as the UK, such as Canada, and of course the US, you would have to take a 6-month program. So at the time that I did it, there was a 6-month program where you get a legal certificate that was done at the Norman Manley Law School. That is not the case now. You don't do it at the Norman Manley Law School. There's another law school that's in the Bahamas that the 6-month program is done there. After you've done the 6-month program, you just have to pass your classes. It's the core classes. I think, if I could remember, is constitutional law, civil procedure, torts, I believe real property, and there's one other subject and I don't recall what it was. But they were all really great classes, even though I don't remember the name of all of the classes. But you take your core classes and you need to pass the exam. And these are not easy classes. You just can't just show up to class, take a little notes, and just go through. No, you have to really be to pay attention. They're very difficult classes, and you're dealing with very intelligent professors who are not playing with you. At the end, you take an exam. There's no bar exam. You just have to pass the classes. Upon passing the classes, you also have to make sure that you have done additional requirements. I think every Caribbean jurisdiction may have their own requirements. So at the time that I got my legal certificate from Norman Manley Law School, I had to do an internship with another attorney. And I also had to attend quite a few court cases in Jamaica. So when I did it, we were doing it remotely. Well, you could do it online. And however, you needed to be in the country to fulfill your internship, as well as you needed to attend those different court cases. There's a list of different types of court matters that you needed to be present at, and you needed to be in the country to do so. After you've done that, you then now have to put together your application to submit to the General Legal Counsel. And after you've gotten that application, you then need to put in your another application to the Supreme Court so that you could be officially called to the bar. Now that process, those two process, getting all those documents together and submitting it to the General Legal Counsel as well as to the Supreme Court of Jamaica. That now that I've done it, it's very easy. It's basically documents that you're going to need if you're being called to the bar in or if you're being sworn in like New York or something. You have to do background checks, get police records, not only in your jurisdiction where you're from, but also in Jamaica as well. Is your degrees, your just everything you basically would need to apply to be sworn into the bar in the jurisdiction that you're in, or called to the bar, depending on what it's different. It's called, you're either called to the bar or sworn in depending on what jurisdiction that you're in. Like I think in Canada and in the UK, you're called to the bar, while in New York, you're sworn in. So that process was a little bit wacky because you were like, you didn't really know what to do. It felt like you were alone in this, especially for the 6-month students. I think, I don't know if the students that were actually a part of the 2-year law school program, if they had guidance. I'm pretty sure they probably had a lot more guidance than we did. But once you've done it, it was like, it gathering those documents together was not that difficult at all. So once you've done that, you will then have the date where you will go to court and you will be called to the bar. And I will say to you that I've graduated from law school in New York, and that was a big thing. Graduated from college at University of Maryland. I've had a lot of accomplishments. I think being called to the bar was the most honorable and it was one of the proudest moments of my life. Being called to the bar, being robed, going through that whole process, I think I feel like I carried my ancestors on my back. I mean, I have siblings that are doing really well. I have people in my family who are doing really well, but I am the only attorney in my family. And having that pride and wearing, not only am I like an attorney in New York, but also I'm an attorney in Jamaica. That's something that I don't think in my professional career I'll ever be able to replicate that feeling, that pride, especially that my father passed away in 2013 and he wasn't here to see that happen, but I could feel his spirit with me as I did that. No one probably ever knew that I would ever do something like that, but it was just such a proud moment. So if you are thinking about being an attorney in Jamaica and you are an attorney in another jurisdiction, you could, of course, drop some comments. You can DM me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.